G'day folks, here's my top 20 albums and top 10 EPs for 2023. G'day folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at my top 20 albums and top 10 EPs for 2023. It's been a pretty bloody busy year for heavy metal and the like. As you might have gathered from all my collection update videos, I've bought a few things over the years, so yeah. It's been a bit of a challenge to listen to it all, to tell the truth, and still keep listening to, crusty old crap that I always listen to. This year's a very good year for death metal, as it was last year. Partly because I like death metal a lot, I seek it out a little more than other styles, but yeah, there's a good number of death metal bands in this top 20, that's for sure. It's not as much grind or black metal-y sort of stuff as I expected, to tell the truth, but maybe I'm just not digging deep enough. Yeah, this is it's New Year's Eve at the moment while I'm recording this, so yeah, there's fireworks are coming up. I'm drinking a fancy beer today. What the hell? This is very nice sour from Belgium, from Cantillon, which is a damn fine brewery. So yeah, this is I love my sours. It's a good fancy one, but yeah, very wild, no doubt. Oh yeah. That was the goose. So yeah, this year I'm bunging my EPs on the end of this as well, and also might mention a couple of gigs that I enjoyed, and a few odds and sods, honourable mentions and the like, albums that I didn't particularly enjoy as well. And yeah, it's been a good year for the channel though, so thanks all that have been watching. Just checked the analytics, and nearly 20,000 views this year, which is kind of strange, I gotta say, but oh, all good. Had 441 new subscribers, so welcome on board. Thanks everyone, and thanks to all my existing subscribers. It's interesting reading the analytics. Strangely, it says that for the last year, 100% of my views are male, which is not quite that believable. I think my wife watches some of them at least, so yeah, curious how accurate their demographic sort of data is. So if you're a woman who watches my channel, feel free to let me know in the comments. But yeah, and of the percentages of age range, I wasn't that surprised that 56% is like 45 to 54, which is could well be my age range as well. So yeah, I'm not really that surprised, to tell the truth. Old geezer talks about old metal. Probably going to get some old geezers watching, I reckon. So yeah, but anyway, thanks to all who have watched. It's very, very appreciated. Yeah, I've had a good year, that's for sure. I've quite enjoyed it all. So yeah, thanks again. So, but anyway, let's get into it. Number 20, we have Sulphuric Cautery with Suffocating Feats of Dehumanization. This came out on 625 Productions and Malacool. No idea who they are, but good work. Yeah, this is American gore grind, just nasty stuff. I say the word nasty a bit too much, but it fits very effectively with this. Hyper fast, gory as hell. Last Stages of Humanity is probably the closest sort of comparator. Their later sort of work. So there ain't no bouncy cock and ball torture sort of riffs on this. It's mostly blasts. It does have a good batch of quite chunky, nasty riffs, but nothing too chuggery, that's for sure. Much prefer the production on this to the last album, Chainsaw Clogged, etc, etc. Just, I don't know, as I said in my earlier review, it's more balanced. It just, sounds killer. It's quite the lineup change on here, but Isaac's still there blasting away. He's got a distinct sound. You can tell it's him generally in other bands, and he's in quite a few bands, that's for sure. I'm not going to show you the inner sleeve because it's kind of gory and horrible. So number 20 with a blast. Number 19 is Dripping Decay with Festering Grotesqueries. And I must admit, I bought this mostly for the cover art, but I was very happy with it. This is Portland sort of death grind. It's not too dissimilar to this is Maniac Neil's band. And he's been in a ton of bands like Frightmare and Blood Freak, and I think he was in Lord Gore. And I don't know, most of the Portland death grindy sort of bands. So it sounds pretty similar to that, but not exactly the same. It doesn't have quite as much sort of carcass worship. It's got a bit more repulsion and terrorizer sort of feel to it, and it's just great stuff. Fast, short sort of songs. just punchy, enjoyable. I don't know. It's works very well for me, and yeah, as I said, the artwork's killer. The inner sleeve's bloody awesome. Yeah, just energetic death grind. It's all you really need, I reckon. Although it does have a bit of autopsy in it, I think it's Watching You Rot. It's pretty damn autopsy-ish. So yeah, I look forward to more from these guys because it's bloody killer stuff. And yeah, look at that art. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Number 17 is Witch Skull with The Serpent Tide. These guys are a local Canberra band, so I might be a tad biased, but this is a bloody killer album, though. This is their 4th album. They're feeling a bit more sort of comfortable in their style. There is still some sort of experimentation on, I think it's Sun Carver has like just this sort of depressive mellowness to it that works really well on this. But yeah, I think they're settling in quite well, I've got to say. This is, yeah, doomy, stonery kind of stuff that with clean vocals that, yeah, are just haunting as per usual. One thing I love about it always is the thumping drums. Bloody hell! I mean, it's Joel from Arm and Angel, so it's going to be thumping, but yeah, it sounds friggin' killer on this. Production is very good on this. I think what's the other one? Rune of Thorns, a great closer. It's just metal as hell. But yeah, everything's friggin' killer. Bornless Hollows. I think I said it in my earlier review. Still sounds like Kai's to me. Every time I put it on, I'm like, oh, yeah, I think you owe some royalties there, boys. But it's yeah, not a problem at all. Very enjoyable album. Number 16 is Ahab and the Coral Tombs. This is a German funeral doom sort of band who, I think this is their, 5th album maybe? They've kind of, I'm glad they've mellowed over the years and sort of expanded their sound a bit more. So I don't know if they could have just kept doing the, Call of the Wretched Sea over and over. Honestly, now they're probably more just very slow melodic doom, to tell the truth. But who cares? Sounds bloody good to me. So yeah, this is a concept album based on the Jules Verne, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Ooh, let's see, that looks pretty. Very nice gatefold and everything. So yeah, the lyrics are bloody excellent. As I say, I rarely read lyrics, but these ones are killer mainly because the source book is a good one. It's bloody excellent. Initially, I actually thought this would be higher, but I haven't really listened to it a huge amount since the initial spurt of 5 or 6 times in a row sort of thing. But yeah, now that I revisit, it's like, shit, why haven't I been listening to this all year? It's got an odd start. Like for a funeral doom band, it's like screaming vocals and blast beats at the start, but it does sort of signify a certain traumatic event in the book, and does it quite well. So, but yeah, pretty much all the songs are killer. I think The Sea is a Desert's a good one. Colossus of the Liquid Graves is pretty freaking killer as well. But overall, it's excellent stuff. I must admit, I still kind of prefer the first album, The Call of the Wretched Sea, but I don't know. It's a bit more full on. This I do really like the clean vocals on this. He's been using it for a couple of albums before this, I think. He's got a good voice, but yeah, the heavier stuff I'm always going to be more of a fan of. And I completely forgot. I still haven't actually checked this out. They're like glow in the dark records apparently. So one day I'll try it out. But yeah, this is a killer bloody album. Good old Ahab. Number 16 is Cruciamentum with Obsidian Refractions. As you may gather, I don't own this yet, but it is on the way. I ordered this from Masako along with another one that we'll be talking about shortly as well. So, yeah, I have had the digital version for a while, so I am quite familiar with this. But yeah, probably next week the record will arrive just in time to miss this video. But oh well. Yeah, this is a UK death metal band. Had quite the big break before this album. The last album was 7 or 8 years ago, bloody ages ago. They now have a new drummer who's Matt from Blaspherian and Cemeterian and ex-Morbossadad and about a billion other Texan bands. Yeah, so he's now the drummer for them and quite a nice chap. I remember I've met him several times at MDF. First time just random talking, and then next year he recognised me and had a chat. So. What a nice bloke. And plus he's got a killer Conan tattoo, so can't go wrong there. Anyway, he's a damn good drummer as well. But yeah, this is intense death metal. Reminds me of kind of your Morbid Angel and Immolations, but probably most mostly of Dead Congregation, just Greek legends, because, yeah, it's intense sort of stuff. But there's a nice variety with good amount of slow parts in it. Honestly, I don't like the new vocals quite as much as the previous guy. I mean, they're powerful, they suit the music fine, but I just prefer the previous ones. There's some good classy sections on here. There's, Necropolis of Obsidian Mirrors has a nice sort of section in it. And they have a good sort of subtle use of keyboards, just that sort of 90s style of just little hints of it here and there sort of thing. Works very well. Bat goes berserk on the last song, Drowned. There's a lot going on there on the drums, and it's quite different than the other songs, a bit more sort of experimental, but this probably would have been higher if I had it on record and had listened to it a lot more, but it's a killer bloody album. Next up is Claustrum with their self-titled album. This one came out on Unorthodox Emanations. This is an Italian death metal band. This just arrived pretty recently, but I've been listening to it for a couple of months, and very rapidly worked its way into this list. This is just mostly murky, deep death metal. Just right up my alley. Kind of a mix of, your Autopsy and your Immolation incantation style. It does have some modern sort of, crypts kind of feel to it, but it's very impressive, especially for a debut, bloody hell. It's mostly sort of mid-paced, rumbly, but they do slow down for Desire of Death, Nuclear Death, which I wondered if it was a Nuclear Death cover, but apparently not, so, this is pretty short. It's like under half an hour, so it's probably an EP really, but who cares. It's short but sweet, let's put it that way, and look at that cover art, bloody hell. Hopefully that comes out alright on video, but it's very impressive cover, I've got to say. Comes with a nice inner sleeve with spiky boobed scary lady. Bit of rock style artwork there, I think, but I was most impressed with this one. That's why it sort of worked its way in very well. So just heavy, nasty, rumbly sort of stuff. Perfect style for me. Number 14 is Sick Sinus Syndrome with Swarming of Sickness. You'll never guess what these guys sound like. Nasty gore grind sort of stuff, very splattery sounding. Love it. This is highly unoriginal, but who gives a crap? It's got like Bilos from Malignant Tumor that was doing this shit like 30 years ago, so if he wants to do it again, go for it, mate. No problem at all. Just like, your Regurgitate Carcassy sort of sounding stuff, just pretty standard gore grind, but done very bloody well. This is just catchy as hell, gurgly as hell. Nice cover art from Pierre from Braindead, and the boy's not looking too healthy, and your classic medical instrument. Can't go wrong. As I said, nothing original, but I'm very happy with bands still doing this sort of style. Just catchy gore grind, right up my alley. Number 13 is Cryptworm with Oozing Radioactive Vomission. This one's also coming in the mail, hopefully arriving shortly. So I have purchased this, I just don't currently own it. This is the second album from the UK death metal dudes. Their last album, which I can't remember the name of, was Bloody Killer as well, and I must admit I prefer the earlier artwork than the newer one, although let's see what it looks like in person. But that first one made it onto my favourite album covers sort of video from sometime this year. Because just killer artwork. But at any rate, this is not the most original death metal, I gotta say, but my sort of style. It's a good dose of your sort of weird angular Demoleach sort of riffs, and also just some heavy Disma vibes and a bit of Undergang as well. So nasty rotten death metal. It's fine by me. Quite catchy, quite sort of I say bouncy, but I don't mean that in a bad way at all. It's groovy. I very much look forward to this one arriving, because I love these guys. It's just killer stuff. Excellent quality death metal. Who would have guessed on this list? Number 12 is not death metal for once. Zizmo with No Place Like Alone. So this is the one of the few non-death metal or horrible gore grindy sort of releases on here. This is rock and roll pretty much. I mean, they used to be a horrible gore grind band, but for the last most of their career, they're a rock and roll band. Yeah, this is their first album back for many years. I've had a good year with Zizma this year. I've bought heaps of their stuff. Just finally getting around to actually owning it on official versions. So, yeah, I was very happy this one came out pretty early in the year, I think. This came out on Svart Records, who for a while were not irritating, but it wasn't probably their fault. I think they had postage drama, so they couldn't post to Australia, so I did just get this off Discogs, but that's all sorted now, so you can now order from Svart, which I'd recommend. It's a great Finnish record label. So yeah, this is pretty much the same lineup other than the guitarist who died. Yeah, sounding a little older, the singer-janitor sounds a bit rough on this, but I kind of like it. I mean, he's always had a gravelly sort of style, but yeah, it just sounds kind of odd, as I probably pointed out in my previous review. Reminds me of Vim Fuego from Bad News, which is not always a compliment, I gotta say, but I really enjoy this. The first song's just catchy as buggery, but it's just really, really varied sort of rock and roll. I must admit, I could listen to more rock and roll, but I really enjoy these guys. Just weird keyboards that sort of heaps of rock out kind of sections. There's some sugar sweet sort of pop sort of bits and pieces here. It's just, yeah, quite varied. So if any of that sounds good, I'd highly recommend you check out Zizma. Yeah, great band. Number 11 is Fossilization with Leprous Daylight. Not quite sure what Leprous Daylight is, but anyway. This came out on Everlasting Spew, although as you can tell I don't own this one as well, and it's mainly because I'm still waiting on the record to come out. So yeah, I've listened to it a batch. Yeah, this one gets a lot of play. It's damn good car music for some weird reason. So yeah, Death Doom stuff from Brazil. Although a lot more on the death side of things. It's pretty blasty, dead congregation-y sort of style for a lot of it. But when they slow, they slow. Just gets suffocating heaviness. I love it. Just vocals are a powerful, deep sort of roar as well. It's very, very enjoyable stuff, right up my alley. At the Heart of the Nest is probably my favourite on here, but yeah, the whole thing bloody rules. So very much looking forward to getting to that one on record. Yeah, it's just nice murky death doom. Can't go wrong. Number 10 is Excarnated Entity with Massgrave Horizon. This came out on Nuclear Winter Records. So yeah, it's American death metal band. Who would have guessed? Heavy dose of your death doomy sort of style on this as well. This is like members of Triumvir Foul. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. And Ash Borer, but it also sounds quite a bit like guitarist and singer Dan's previous band and Hedonist in parts, which is bloody good. It's not quite as slow and torturous, and there are lots of faster bits as well, but yeah, really, really killer stuff. Really nice lead work as well. There's quite the war sort of theme to this and their previous album, which has, or EP, which has pretty similar sort of cover. So yeah, I think you know, kind of your spectral voice and obviously the Legends disembowelment quite a bit as well. That's generally what you're going to get with this. So yeah, very happy to get this one. I'd love to see these guys live. I reckon this would crush live. It's just powerful as hell. Just great death doom. Number 9 is Rotten Sound with Apocalypse. As you can tell, I also haven't bought this one yet, mainly because I haven't found it for a decent bloody price. I don't know, it just seems expensive for some reason. I'll get it one day, I promise. Yeah, Finnish grind. You know these guys have been around for donkey's years. Some reason, I don't know, I kind of lost track of these guys after, I think, Exit, or maybe the album after that. I still own a couple, but there's a few that I missed for some unknown reason, because they're still just as nasty and just as bloody killer. My favourite era is the sort of Murderworks Exit sort of era, and this reminds me quite a bit of that. So there's some chunky, heavy sort of bits in Sharing and Fight Back, but yeah, mostly just fast, nasty as hell. Great vocals as well. I still kind of wish he'd do some of the deeper ones, but yeah, it's got a killer, just punchy guitar sound as well. Still one of the tightest bands I've seen. I saw him at MDF in 2007, I think, and just ridiculously tight band. I don't know if that was back when they had Kai and him as the drummer or not, and yeah, they were bloody killer when they played Obscene Extreme Australia. I saw them twice, I think, in this. I don't know if it was the same night or the one night after the other, but yeah, they were worth seeing twice. That's for bloody sure. Yeah, just killer grind sort of stuff. This is probably the highlight straight grind album of the year for me. Number 8 is Church of Misery with Born Under a Mad Sign. This came out on Rise Above Records. Yeah, this is Japanese sort of stoner doom kind of band. Just catchy as buggery. This is their 7th album, I think. Bloody been around these for a while, these boys. Now it's pretty much just the bass player as the main dude. I think they've got one of their old vocalists back, and other band members seem to be in his Sonic Flower band, which is a bit more psychedelic rock, I think, that I haven't actually heard yet. I'll have to check them out. There's a really good session guitar from the main guy from Eternal Elysium, a Japanese sort of doom band as well. Favourite songs on here, I have listened to this a lot over the years, over the year, because it's bloody just catchy as hell. I think the boogie ones are my favourite. Freeway Madness Boogie and what's the other one? Oh, Come and Get Me Sucker, which is the David Koresh one. I don't know, they're just catchy as buggery and just really enjoyable. I always enjoy these guys a little more when they boogie down a bit more than the really slow, drawn out sort of stuff. They always do one cover, and the one here is a Haystacks Balboa cover of the song Spoiler, and I really enjoy it because it's got like cool like organ keyboardy sort of stuff in it that I don't know, I reckon they could use more often. That sounds cool. But yeah, obviously rumbling as buggery bass, and one of the fun things about listening to this is that, you know, it's got the Beltway Sniper, which is John Allen Muhammad. You know, it's like I just watched a true crime thing on him pretty recently, so it's kind of fun. There's H.H. Holmes on here as well. That was also on a true crime thing that I watched. So yeah, it's fun little crossover. I do love the back worship riff or die. Oh yeah, I'll show you that in a bit. You get all the pictures of the naughty boys, serial killers or murderers of some variety, of course. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a bit more upbeat than the last one. Just really enjoyable sort of stuff. So yeah, always a fan of Church of Misery. Hope they tour Australia again, because they've already been here at least once, twice I think. So yeah, come back, boys. Number 7 is Ruin with Mechanisms of Bloodshed. I don't have the record of this, but I got the fancy tape in the ridiculous box. Yeah, I'll go through that in a sec. Yeah, these guys are sludgy, horrible death metal from LA. I've listened to this a heap over the year. I think it's only 27 minutes long. It's probably an EP, really, but I think it's a crap. This is thick. I've got that written in bold, big letters on my notes for this, because yeah, it's thick, damn thick, sludgy, horrible stuff. It's beautiful. They sound tough as hell when they're fast. Like they go fast a lot, but when they slow down, it's just like beautiful. Just dragging along the ground. I don't like saying caveman sort of style, but yeah, it does kind of fit to this. Just kind of that Mortician kind of style a bit, but really not too much. Just massive chugger riffs. Really enjoy it. And yeah, this is I think Sublimation of Trauma is probably my favourite song, but the whole thing bloody rules. It's got a whole lot of weird samples, including like like old timey sort of songs that take up like about the last minute of one of the songs. But yeah, this comes in fancy box set. I'll have to show all this crap off again because it's just so stupid. I think you get the lyrics and like a picture of a murder kit, so I'm assuming that's probably, I don't know, good old Dickie Ramirez probably, or someone or other. Who can tell? But yeah, you also get gaffer tape for taping up your victims. Sorry, it's a little bit. You get this fold-out bloody knife thing that I can't remember how it even works. That kind of, yeah. Don't mess with me. And get your plastic gloves. This is your murder kit, obviously. Your, what's that called? Cable tie. You get the actual tape, of course, which comes in this sort of stylish thing, fancy looking tape. But most ridiculously of all is your garrote. As usual, I got suckered by the gimmickiness of it all, but it's a friggin' killer album, or EP or whatever. It's very enjoyable. I don't know. I think it's the most recent stuff they've recorded, and the sound is just superb on it. I'm really looking forward to the next album. Their Spread Plague Death album from a couple of years ago was another favourite of mine. I think also this year they released like that Maggots sort of record that I probably should be holding up, but yeah, I'll put a picture of it up. Which is spiffy as hell. Comes with like a turntable mat, but it's like much older songs. This newer stuff certainly tickles my fancy. So yeah, if you like your death metal horrible and sludgy, Rowan is the go. Number 6 is Thantofaxis with Hive Mind Necrosis. This came out on Dark Descent Records, and yeah, this is my black metal release of the year, I reckon. Honestly, I didn't really buy a huge amount this year. Probably should have listened to that Back Sax album a few more times, but yeah, this one, yeah, love it. Bloody killer stuff. It's just scary sounding, which is a rarity in this day and age. Just those weird ascending leads that they do, and it's just edge of your seat kind of stuff. Always eerie, always just like challenging sort of music. So yeah, it's just dissonant sort of black metal, you know, kind of like your Deathspell Amiga or Blood Os Nord. Actually, that's another one that I probably should have listened to a bit more. Didn't actually buy that Blood Os Nord album, but should give it a bit more of a go, I think. But yeah, this is friggin' killer. Highlight's probably still the last song, The Mind of the Sun, but Solar Witch is friggin' great as well. The whole thing's great. Very much hoping these guys will one day tour Australia, hint hint. Maybe they could play, what's it called? Dark Mofo, maybe. What's your name? Chalky? Get on it, mate. Yeah, I've could have probably listened to this a bit more, but mainly because it is just that eerie sort of listen. It's not really something you can just bung on and have a merry time. It's sort of like bung it on and hope to retain your sanity sort of stuff. It's, yeah, killer stuff. Number 5 is Reverence of Paroxysm with Luxmort. I just can't stop listening to this one. This is killer, super heavy death metal. Yeah, as I said in my earlier review, it's yeah, belongs in a special category that I listen to all the time. You know, your Ripiculo, Moondark, sort of just ridiculously heavy Bolt Thrower, Realm of Chaosy kind of sounding stuff. I just love that style, and yeah, this is like Antimo from Disgorge on vocals and bass as well, I think. But yeah, his vocals on this are just ridiculous. It's just rumbling bulldozer mania. It's just killer stuff. I have to try. I haven't tried it yet, but this is 33 RPMs. This record, but I saw on a group I'm in Facebook someone saying I play it at 45 and it's still heavy as buggery, and so I'll give that a go shortly. I think, because I think that could be quite enjoyable. I still love that cover art, or not cover art, the inner art. It's pretty stylish, but yeah, this has had a lot of goes on the stereo, so yeah, just rumbling death metal goodness. Can't go wrong. Number 4 is Godflesh with Purge. I listened to this a ton over the year. Yeah, big fan of Godflesh always, but yeah, Justin Broderick puts out a lot of stuff, but I'll always buy new Godflesh. There's no way I wouldn't buy this. So yeah, this is definitely a throwback to the Pure style, which is kind of a surprise really. Usually it moves sort of forwards. It's not usually that many sort of, you know, going back to the old style, but it's somewhat noticeable in this. There's still quite a lot of experimentation, but especially after the last album, Post Self was really different to usual Godflesh sort of style. Yeah, I was a bit surprised by this, but I ain't complaining. I am still complaining about the bass not being quite loud enough. It still works very well, but yeah, there's some of the earlier, or not the more recent sort of rejoined, sort of reformed style was very bass heavy. This one, not quite as much. But yeah, favourite songs are still As a Landlord and Permission. They're just kind of faster, catchier ones. And yeah, You Are the Judge, the Jury, and the Execution is a nice sort of mellow one that goes very nice. But yeah, Justin sounds powerfully angry as usual with his vocals, which I love. And yeah, I'm always interested to see where they're going to go next. So yeah, look forward to more Godflesh. Up next we have a twofer. We have Autopsy with Ashes, Organs, Blood and Crypts. And what's her name? Static Abyss with Aborted from Reality. So cheating, I know, but hey, it's my video stuff. Yeah, both Chris Ryford and Greg Wilkinson's style. So we'll do Autopsy first because this is probably a bit better, I've got to say. Yeah, I reviewed this in my November collection update, I think, so feel free to watch that one. But yeah, this is just, it's my favourite band of all time, pretty much. Well, them or Slayer, or Disembowelment. It's tough now. Anyway, one of my favourite bands, and I know I say that a lot, but really definitely one of my favourite bands. Yeah, this is their latest album. Just killer death metal, quite varied. As I said, I love the extra louder bass on this. It reminds me of the Fiend for Blood sort of era of Steve DiGiorgio. Noodly, fretless stuff. I don't know if this is actually fretless, but it sounds bloody killer. I think I love the Toxic Death Fuck, the Abscessy sort of style punky song. It's just killer on this as well. But overall, friggin' impressive album. Artwork, this one wins the artwork for me. I really kind of wish this was like a gatefold. Usually I'm sick of albums being gatefold when they don't really need to be, but this one could definitely be. So yeah, this is just Greg and Chris. Greg on like guitars and everything, and Chris on drums and vocals. It's their second album. Bloody productive lads, these ones. Pretty sure I had both these on their last year's list, but anyway. So yeah, this is slower, and they get real slow on this, which I think Autopsy kind of lacks a bit. I wish Autopsy would do more slower stuff, but works very well combined. So yeah, and Chris sounds a little wilder on this in his vocal style, which is killer. But yeah, overall, yeah, both albums friggin' awesome. I'm thinking, because I'm on holidays, I might finally get around to doing my Chris Reifert worship video, which is just me showing lots of records of Chris Reifert. But one day I'll get around to it. So, but yeah, number 3, definitely. Number 2 is Dying Fetus with Make Them Beg for Death. Honestly, I really didn't expect this to be quite so high in this list, but I freaking love this album. I've listened to this so much. Perfect driving music and mowing music as well, but well, actually it's probably not very good driving music. I'm surprised I haven't got a speeding ticket listening to these guys, but yeah, the only thing I don't really like is that cover art, but oh well, big whoop. Although I do like the knife in the album title. It's got a stylish. But yeah, this is just brutal death metal. You know what Dying Fetus sound like, nasty stuff, but I don't know, it's just something catchy and perfect about this one. It's the best one since Destroy the Opposition by miles, I reckon. Way better sound than the last album. And just, I don't know, really energetic, just fun. They're not trying anything new. There's no like clean vocal bits or mellow sections or anything. Well, there's more solos than usual, but not exactly epic bloody Malmsteen sort of ones. They're usually little fast ones and then back into blasts. Yeah, I don't know. I think Unbridled Fury is my favourite breakdown on here. It's just, I don't know, chunky as buggery, but all in all, just energetic, just fun brutal death metal. It's a weird thing. I don't know. It's just perfect balance of brutality and groove. Love it. And my number 1 for the year is Catatonia with Sky Void of Stars. It's a bit of a strange one considering most of my list is horrible, growling, nasty death metal, but I love this band. Definitely one of my favourites, as I always say, but yeah, these guys are my number 1 on my Last FM stats, which, being an anal kind of guy, I still maintain. Even when I play records, I play them on my computer at the same time so that it registers. Yeah, I'm that anal. Yeah, but these guys are number 1 on that for a reason, because, I don't know, it's just catchy as buggery. I'm a total sucker for these guys. This album, yeah, immediately grabbed me, which is pretty rare for these guys. As I said in my review, their last album, City Burials, didn't quite grab me as much. This one's just more Catatonia. It's just a bit more rockier, a bit louder, and I wouldn't say more metal, but just, I don't know, more full, you could say. Also, this gets listened to a lot because the missus can handle these guys as opposed to most of the horrible crap that I listen to. So, yeah, on our drives around, this one gets played pretty regularly. Lately, I've been focusing on the bass and the drums because those lads can play, bloody hell. But all in all, it's freaking killer. I think, Opaline is definitely one of my favourites on here. It's just that sort of that quiet and then bang, in comes the chorus. It's just catchy as hell, works so well. Colossal Shade's another one, but honestly, the whole thing sounds friggin' killer. I think Author, which Author's sort of the kind of heavier one with double bass in it that works friggin' well. These guys are touring February, so pretty bloody soon. Very much looking forward to that, and actually one of the few bands that I'm looking forward to seeing them play new songs. And because Catatonia are pretty good like that, they play a lot of newer songs, which can be frustrating if you want to see old songs, because I don't think they even play anything off like Last Fair Deal, let alone anything before that. So I'm not holding my breath for your old Discouraged One songs at all, because I still don't think I've seen anything off that album, or maybe one song off Tonight's Decision. I can't really remember, but anyway, they ripped live. I'm marginally worried they just toured America without Anders. They just had him on tape, I think, which is a bit of a shame. I mean, when they played in Australia last year, I think it was, they had a fill-in guitarist at least. So yeah, I'll be curious. I don't know why Anders isn't touring. They're not overly forthcoming about that, other than family issues or something or other. So I'm hoping he makes it to Australia, but I'm not holding my breath. But either way, very keen to see these guys again live. And yeah, just number one easily. As soon as I heard it, I'm like, oh shit, this is probably going to be one album, and sure enough, here we are. So yeah, I know this is probably not everyone's cup of tea, but yeah, if you haven't listened to this and you're like, I mean, it's not even that metal really, it's pretty much atmospheric rock really, but I love these guys. It's killer album. So that's the top 20 albums of 2023 for me. A few honourable mentions that, kind of stuff I should have listened to more. Marduk, that album's pretty freaking killer. Vomitoria as well. It's another one I've got to get an official version of. Because that was pretty friggin' killer. Torso Fucker, I quite enjoyed that. Didn't quite make the list. Same with the new Incantation. That goes alright. Better than the last couple, I think. Striferus was another one that was probably would win on album covers, but didn't quite grab me. Saxa was pretty cool as well, and Gridlink, didn't quite get there for me really, to tell the truth. Killer band, but just not quite enough going on. The bands that didn't make the list, probably intentionally, but maybe not. Cannibal Corpse, listened to it a few times, just nothing really that exciting, not fast enough. I mean, they don't have to be fast all the time, but it was barely fast. New Suffocation, I do actually have to give that one more of a go. That possibly could have been on the top 20 list if I'd listened to it a few more times, but it's new singer's pretty good. Frank actually sings on the last song, and it doesn't sound too top, but oh well. New Obituary didn't really do too much for me. That Vastum I tried a number of times. I listened to that plenty, and it just never quite clicked. Same with that Tomb Mold. Again, it's one I think down the track I could probably, enough listens that it'd probably click, but at this stage, not really doing it for me. As far as Aussie bands, that Pestilence album was pretty bloody good, but I still can't get over that blatant My Dying Bride riff steal. And that new Blood Incantation, it was pretty good, but again, like as I said in my review, there's like about 5 minutes of death metal, and the rest is nice spacey weird sort of stuff, but not quite what I'm there for. There's a good batch of stuff I haven't got to yet. Got the new Gerald album the other day. That sounds nasty. It's like a Melbourne hardcore band that just intense stuff. Phobocosm, whatever they're called. That new album sounds bloody killer. I've seen a lot of people mention like Hellripper and Sorcerer. I still haven't listened to them. I tried New Satis the other day. Didn't really do a giant amount for me. And not a good release for albums of the year, but the new Abigor came out like the other day. I haven't even ordered it yet, so that one is officially in a 2023 one, but if it's good, I might just chuck it in next year's one. What the hell? I'm very much looking forward to hearing the new Abigor though. That should be a killer one, and next year I'm definitely looking forward to New Contaminated. Comes out in like February, I think, and same with Spectral Voice. Well, it might even be January, I can't remember. So definitely looking forward to those ones, but Up next are my top 10 EPs for 2023. Originally I was going to merge these all in with the albums, but yeah, there was plenty of bloody good ones, so what the hell, let's do a top 10. Number 10 is Contaminated split with Fistula. Contaminated Melbourne death metal band. Bloody love these guys. This is a damn heavy split, this one, far out. Contaminated stuff is probably the most recent stuff other than the new album that comes out like next February or whatever. Pretty raw production, but sludgy guitar sound, just, yeah, starts slow, but yeah, it certainly speeds up, and Zev's deep vocals are friggin' heavy as hell on this. I assume the new album will be the new singer Mark, but yeah, this is friggin' awesome. And great cover art as well. Bit of Apex Chud action. The other side's Fistula. There's only one song each. Their song's friggin' slow and bloody heavy as hell. Far out. I didn't think Fistula were really quite this intense, but it's just powerful pain vocals, heavy as buggery, and cool samples as well. So yeah, this is a very good little EP. This came out on Behind the Mountain, that's right, Polish, I think, record, or maybe Czech record label. Yeah, do some damn good work, so good work. Number 3 is Captain Three Leg split with Holy Boner. Look at that cover art, it's friggin' killer. Yeah, this is Captain Three Leg from America and Holy Boner are from Melbourne. This is very short. As I probably showed in my review, this is one of those weirdo little short, 3-inch CDs or whatever it is. So yeah, this ain't long, that's for sure. It's definitely an EP. I mean, there's plenty of songs on here, and I'll read the blurb that comes on the sticker on the back. Probably sets the tone nicely. Craniums will be clobbered and sensitivities mercilessly bashed as 19 new Captain Three Leg and 7 new Holy Boner tracks rampage through your feeble existence and lay waste to the contents. No one gets away. Stay the course and be fucked by brute force. Oh, lovely. It's pretty accurate, really. The Captain Three Leg stuff's just angry as buggery, kind of, fast, hardcore, power violence-y sort of stuff. Yeah, great vocals on that, and great samples as well, some corkers on here. The Holy Boner stuff's a lot noisier, as they want to be, and just crazy sort of stuff. They've got about 7 songs that are just noisy as bugger. It's got that Gorbion necropsy. Let's just let it feed back for a couple of seconds before we actually start a song sort of style. Yeah, highly recommended. It's a great EP. Number 8 is Hallucination Realised split with Incinerated. This came out on Anthems of the Undesirable. I'm not sure where they're from, but I got it from the band, obviously. Yeah, this is yet more bloody Aussie grind on this, what a lot of these EPs are, but no well. Hallucination Realised, American sort of noisy, raw sort of grindcore. Yeah, it's not bad, but it's not what I'm here for. I was here for the Incinerated stuff, which is, ridiculously heavy, you could say. They're very heavy, sort of a combo of brutal death and mortician sort of style, death grind sort of stuff. Very heavy, but some killer grooves, just excellent breakdowns. I love these guys. I must admit, I do prefer the Lobotomize album and the split with PLF. They just got better sound than this one. I think this took some time to come out on record. Favourite song title is definitely Drop Your Guts. This came as this weird limited 20 of 52 version that I can't actually remember what this is taking the piss out of the cover art, but yeah, definitely highly recommended if you like your Mortician Wave nasty sort of stuff. Number 7 is Suppressant with Designed Obsolescence. This is a Sydney grind band that came out on Grindhead Records and Psycho Control Records as well. As I said in my earlier review when this arrived, I had no idea why I didn't already know these guys, because this is friggin' awesome grindcore. It's just straight ahead, catchy, normal sort of grind, very much, as I think I said before, Captain Cleanoff sort of style. So just catchy, screamy, growly, just heavy as shit. This is very impressive, I've got to say. Just nice mix of sort of gruff and screen vocals, and just, love it. Very keen to see. I then bought a heap of their stuff off Bandcamp as well. That was, cheap as chips, because I think it was all name your price or just cheap. This is probably still the better quality one because it's better sound, but yeah, highly recommended. Very keen to see these guys live. Number 6 is Stargazer with Bound by Spells. This came out on Nuclear War Now Productions. 3 songs, killer bloody stuff. This is the latest stuff from avant-garde death metal weirdos from South Australia. I've always loved their odd style. Just it's one of those styles that really shouldn't work, but really does, surprisingly. It's sort of like simultaneously really progressive, but just metal is buggery. I don't know how they do it. It's an odd combination, but it works perfectly. I would say they've mellowed a bit over the years, but it's not really that true. They've just gotten a bit smoother. It's a bit not quite as rough around the edges as some of their earlier works. Like I listened to this the other day and then put on Scream That Tore the Sky, and it's noticeably different, but still similar core. I always love the snarled vocals from Denny on this, and it's got some clean stuff that I don't know if that's Damon or who's doing that, but actually works surprisingly well. All around killer EP. Very much looking forward to their next album. They just always do good work, these fellas. Number 5 is the Blue Holocaust split with Morgue Breath. Blue Holocaust, a French gore grind sort of band. Following these guys for a while. It's killer stuff. I think this is one of the first things they've done with like the full lineup. It used to just be Pierre from like Brain Dead and lots of artwork. Him by himself with a drum machine, but now it's a full band, I think, and it sounds better actually, I reckon. It's just a bit more together. It's a good mix of sort of normal growls and then pitch shifted to buggery gurgles, which I always love. I still love the Bill Steer sample at the start. He's got such a unique voice. The other side is Morgue Breath, who's an American kind of death grindy sort of band, bit sort of your kind of Machetezo meets Terrorizer sort of style. So pretty damn riffy, short but sweet, but their side is friggin' killer. They also do a Dead Infection cover, which they certainly do justice. Song off Poppy Seed Cake, I think, which is the killer EP. So, I'm very enjoying this compilation of these two bands. Blue Holocaust wins on cover art, though. I've got to say it's bloody awesome. Number 4 is Carcinoid with Encomium to Extinction. This is rumbling death metal from Melbourne. Oh, killer stuff. Sort of your death doomy sort of style, a la sort of Autopsy or Coffins sort of style. It's mostly sort of mid-paced headbanging action. Pretty much just the way I like it. This has definitely got a better sound than their Metastatic Declination album. It's just a bit more balanced and, I don't know, works very well. Really good vocals by Josh as well, who sadly is his last recording with the band. I think they now have a new singer who they haven't announced yet, but hopefully it means I'll get to see him again live soon. I really love the little blast beats on Murd in Decay, which I think also has Tonebone from Bloodduster on vocals, or guest vocals, so that's killer bloody release. I did note I think the members of Cemeterian mentioning in a podcast that somewhat similar cover art to which I'll put up there, their one side by side, their EP, which I could have sworn I owned and turned the place upside down looking for, and I don't own it. So anyway, one day I'll get it. Similar sort of style to the cover, you could say, but it's both killer albums or EPs or whatever. So, but this is great stuff. Definitely their best work to date. Number 3 is Bloodmouth with Carnist Industrial Complex. These guys are militant vegan, sort of grindy, power violence-y, beat-downy sort of stuff from Canberra. This is like members of I Exist, Mental Cavity and Plowshare, I think. I'm quite the hypocrite owning this because, I'm a carnist. Sorry, boys. But this is just grindy, beat-down nastiness. I'm really enjoying this EP. This is the fancy one that comes with the different cover. I think the normal cover's that one. And it's just killer stuff. Seems a bit more beat down than their Unmanned album before that, and the demo as well. So, which fine by me. Live they were just freaking awesome. They played with Despise You this year, which was just killer. They got like body armor and balaclavas and shit. It was awesome. But they were so into it, and it was freaking intense and pretty bloody heavy, I gotta say. So, yeah, this is highly recommended. This is from put out on To Live a Lie and Life Lair Regret Records. So, yeah, I'd really recommend checking these dudes out. There'll be links to all these bands below as well. So, yeah, get clicking. Number 2 is Rawhead with Ever Deepening Wounds. This came out on Suburban Slaughterhouse Records. Good work. Yeah, this is... Yeah, what a surprise. Melbourne grind band. This is, yeah, gore grind, deep as hell. It's just blast beats, gurgles, and chunky riffs. It's right up my alley. Really good production on this for gore grind. You can make out everything. It's still totally splatter sounding, but you can make it all out, which I really appreciate. It actually sounds quite a bit better than their Spineless Pigs album, although maybe not quite a bit better, but certainly an improvement. Although that album friggin' rules as well. I highly recommend that one. Christoph's blasts on this are just, yeah, intense as always. He's got a very good style, but on this he seems a little crazier on all the non-blast stuff, which I really appreciate. Sadly, I think this might be the last thing they released. I think they're split up. Maybe not permanently, I hope not, but yeah, their Bandcamp does say RIP 2016 to 2020, so that's not a great sign. Yeah, I would definitely recommend this or their Spineless Pigs album. This actually, maybe about 3/4 of the songs are actually on this compilation, which came out on... can't even read what that label is. Anyway, the Rawhead and Raw Addict, Blue Holocaust, and Active Stenosis, a split sort of compilation release, which freaking well worth it as well. So most of the songs are on that, but there's still a couple of extra ones on this. So get both. Definitely get both. Yeah, just nasty, horrible gore grind. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And number 1 for the EPs is Undergang with something in Danish I'm not going to pretend I can pronounce. That bloody title. Yeah, this is an EP they put out on Masako on Urjo. And yeah, just I've listened to this a heap. It's friggin' killer. Just quality Danish death metal. Not quite as gurgly and caveman-y as their earlier stuff, but really, I like the variation on this, to tell the truth. First song, Dodd's got a kind of a sweet death sort of feel to it. And I love the groove on the third song that also has a ridiculously long title I'm not going to pretend I can pronounce. Just, yeah, no, it's got some nice sort of, your Bilsty sort of squeal kind of solos from the early days. And, yeah, really good vocals, the splattery highs and then David's deep, deep growls. Yeah, the whole thing friggin' rules. It does have some sort of variations. There's a really sort of slow song on here which works quite well. I will also give a shout out to this other Undergang EP. They're reasonably prolific band. They probably put other stuff out as well, but who knows. But this is their split with Spectral Voice. It also came out this year. Didn't quite make it. The Spectral Voice song hasn't quite clicked for me. I'm very keen for their new album, but yeah, just didn't quite blow me away, I gotta say. But the Undergang songs on here are bloody cool. But yeah, this one, the winner for sure. This would have been when I originally had them EPs and albums combined. This was pretty high up, but yeah, that's why it's number 1 on the EP list. So, yeah, just killer death metal. Alright, the top 5 reissues or discographies issued this year that I'll run through quickly because probably already extending the time a bit. Neuropath, quality Sydney death metal band. This is their 2 demos and, yeah, well worth getting it. Warp Spasm, which is an old Melbourne, I don't know, punky, hardcorey, grindy kind of band. This is all their stuff. It's pretty killer. Oni, a South Australian death metal band. This is, again, all their stuff. It's weird Japanese influenced, kind of strange death metal sort of stuff. This is bloody killer. This ginormous bloody 3 LP set from Afflicted. This is an old Swedish death metal band. This is like all their demos and I think is it just demos and EPs and stuff? Yeah. Yeah. Killer stuff. I love me some good old Swedish death metal. And yeah, number 1, well, not number 1 really, but I got to mention this one, and there's no way I'm opening this up. The boys, the charming ones, good old AC with all their ancient old stuff, demos and rehearsals, and the same live set about 5 times in a row. Yeah, I have to mention that one, mainly because it cost a lot of money. So yeah, that's it for quality reissues or discographies from this year. And while we're here, what the hell, I'll go through my top 5 gigs of the year. Number 1 probably was Pungent Stench, Loose Fungus and Blightworms at the Potbelly. That was like, I don't know, 3 weeks ago or whatever. It was just awesome fun. Got pretty tipsy, but had a grand time. There's just these old Pungent Stench albums are just amazing, and seeing them live again, just killer. Butcher ABC, 100 Years War, Dark Horse and Blightworms at the Basement was friggin' killer as well. Butcher ABC, love me some Gorgorind, as you are well aware, so it was cool, killer to see them live. Other bands were pretty good as well, but yeah, Butcher were just very enjoyable. Emperor and the Amenta played at the Metro in Sydney. The Amenta, yeah, they're alright. Emperor, yeah, killer. Played all of Nightside in the Eclipse, in the Nightside Eclipse, sorry, and were just, yeah, amazing as you'd imagine. Had a grand time. Again, a bit tipsy with mates, headbanging like a maniac, like I was 19 years old and not quite a bit older than that. Felt it the next day, but it was worth it, I reckon. Another good one was, yeah, Despise You, along with Chuff, Blightworms and Bloodmouth. They played at, what's that place called? Can't remember what it's called now. It used to be the old Hog's Breath in Canberra. I don't know if they're even doing gigs anymore. It was quite a good setup, and yeah, Despise You, I don't know, I didn't expect it to be all that great, and they were friggin' killer. I don't know, they never really do a giant amount for me on record, but live was just amazing. And yeah, as I just said, in Bloodmouth, they were killer as well. Didn't really like Chuff, and Blightworms were kick-ass. The other one I'll mention is a couple of South Australian bands, Charnel Ultra and Endless Loss. They played with Ploughshare and Futility at the Potbelly in Canberra, and yeah, that was great fun. I did check out my review, which is in all my list of videos of that, which has got footage of most of the bands at any rate. That was a killer, very intense gig. And last but not least, I'll mention the Dave Ellefson and what's that guy's name? Who was the other guitarist? Jeff Young, doing their Megadeth covers sort of set, which was bloody killer. With Minor Dave, as my mate Mark and I call it, not Mega Dave, Minor Dave. That was surprisingly good fun, I gotta say. It was a bit silly but enjoyable, and I mean, it was really good to see all of So Far So Good So What live. Still don't understand why they didn't do that and Peace Sells instead of the first album, but maybe Dave Mustaine charges them to play Peace Sells, who knows. But yeah, those gigs were killer. Don't know what I've got coming up. Actually, I've got a heap of gigs coming up. Can't remember what half of them are. There's like DRI and Hyrax. Going up to see Mortiferum in a couple of weeks on a boat on Sydney Harbour, which should be good fun. I think the last harbour gig I went to was either Exhumed or Fuck 'em Dead, and the day everything became... was it the day? No, Garbage Guts, sorry. Both were killer gigs. What else is coming up? I cannot remember. Obituary coming, but I don't think I'll bother with that one. There's a good batch of other ones. Creator are playing with like In Flames, but I'll probably go and see Creator just so Mark and I can get our drunken headbanging going whenever they play something off Pleasure to Cure. There are some other gigs coming up. Who cares? I'll get around to them. But yeah, a fun year of gigs, I gotta say. Alright, that's enough rambling about metal. I'm sure this video is ridiculously long, so thanks for watching if you made it this far. 2023, a bloody killer year. I had a great time. A lot of people seem to not have an enjoyable year, but it was fine by me. Heaps of good releases, good gigs, good beer, good everything, good company. So yeah, I had a great time. Looking forward to 2024, and yeah, as I said, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and thanks for all my new subscribers over the last year, and everyone else. It's glad you're sticking around. I'm quite enjoying this. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to, kind of videos you'd like me to do. Obviously, we're doing another collection update shortly, and a few other like rambling about bands that I love kind of videos coming up. So we'll see, but yeah, always happy for some feedback. So, and yeah, as I said, I put all the links to all of these various releases below, so check them out. Well worth it. And yeah, I'll see you again soon. Cheers.